डॉक्टर विशाल जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और जो हम सिलेबस वगैरह डिजाइन करेंगे तो भी लाइन टू लाइन डॉक्टर दीपक शुक्ला जी। डॉक्टर दीपक शुक्ला के परिचय देने के लिए मैं डॉक्टर धारीवाल जी से कहूँगा कि आपका परिचय कराएं। आप आइए।
I am privileged to introduce my mentor, Dr. Deepak Shukla ji. Dr. Deepak Shukla ji is presently CEO at PSRI, Pushpawati Singhania Research Institute. Dr. साहब basically राजस्थान SMS मेडिकल कॉलेज जयपुर के ग्रेजुएट हैं और डॉक्टर साहब ने इस विषय पर गहन अध्ययन किया है और वो अध्ययन ऐसा नहीं कि कहीं किसी डिपार्टमेंट में बैठ कर के किया। आपकी विशेषता ये रही कि समाज में विचरण करते हुए इस विषय पर आध्यात्म के ऊपर और जितना मेरा डॉक्टर साहब के साथ में इंटरेक्शन रहा उसमें काफ़ी राज्यों में और पर्वतीय राज्यों में जाना डॉक्टर साहब का रहा और वहाँ इस वाले विषय पर आगे उन्होंने कहा जाए थ्योरी के साथ साथ प्रैक्टिकल ये लोग करते और उस चीज़ को अपने तरीके से प्रेजेंट करने का डॉक्टर दीपक शुक्ला जी का एक कहा जाए कि उनकी पर्सनैलिटी में एक ये चीज़ पाई गई देखी गई और आज इसी चीज़ को ध्यान में रख कर के जिन लोगों ने वर्ल्ड कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन स्पिरिचुअल हेल्थ अटेंड की होगी NDMC कन्वेंशन सेंटर में, तो जो पहला उद्बोधन रहा था स्पिरिचुअल साइंस, स्पिरिचुअल हेल्थ की बात अपन लोग करते हैं लेकिन उसके बेस में कहीं स्पिरिचुअल साइंस और उसमें उसकी एनाटॉमी की, जैसे डॉक्टर DC जैन साहब ने बड़े कहा जाए सटीक तरीके से कार्डियोलॉजी का एक एग्जांपल लेकर के और न्यूरोलॉजी में और अब जो है वो स्पिरिचुअल में इसी का, तो उस पर डॉक्टर साहब का खास अध्ययन है। ऐसी बात इसका करके मैं डॉक्टर दीपक शुक्ला जी।
Thank you so much, Dr. Dhariwal, for your kind words. Respected chairman and the dignitaries who have come together for one of the most required vertical component of the healthcare. And I am so delighted. In 2007, I had made a presentation on the spiritual health in the World Hospital Congress in Seoul, South Korea. At that time, there was a lady who was the Secretary General of the WHO. So when after my presentation, all appreciated very much. So I asked them why it is not included in the definition of the health. So she replied, Dr. Shukla, we have yet to achieve perceptible anatomical and physiological correlates of spirituality. So after that thing, I thought this is the challenge. And this is the challenge which we should develop. And whatever Dr. Dhariwal was telling, I tried my best to develop anatomical and physiological correlates of the spirituality. Dr. DC Jain had indicated me that I should speak on the history of spirituality and the definition of the health. So we all know with our basic medical knowledge that in the PSM, health has been defined as the physical, mental and social well-being of an individual and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. In 1987, working group of WHO, after very elaborate discussions, included spiritual component also, and the definition was revised as the physical, mental, social and spiritual well-being of an individual. But very strangely, after 10 years or so, again the spiritual component was withdrawn, and as of date, again it is the complete physical, mental, social well-being of an individual, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity, continues to be the definition of the health. However, if we see the Park's community medicine book, so they have added few dimensions of the health. So financial dimension, political dimension, cultural dimension, so spiritual dimension is also there. So that is a different thing that they have added spirituality as one of the dimension of the health. So why the spiritual component was added in the definition and withdrawn again? There are two basic reasons for this. One thing is this, that whatever the working group had discussed about the spirituality, it was very much overpowered or influenced by the religious connotations. And religion is always a very contradictory issue. Everyone feels good about his own religion, but the religions are man-made, but the soul or the spirit is not man-made. And therefore, there should be, in an attempt to process the spirituality, somehow more religious things or religion-related components were addressed, and over a period of time which was likely, which had to happen, it became a contentious thing for the health professionals to continue and define, and so it was withdrawn. So the lesson is that we do not know much about the spirituality. And whatever many good books of the spirituality, of the spiritual health, large part of them, it drags you to some religious overtones after some time. And there is nothing wrong, but the thing is this, that there is a challenge, that spirit is a different thing. From a spirit there is a spiritual adjective we know, and health it affects, that's why spiritual health. So the thing is this, that we should rightly know the spirit. Now, being doctors, we all know that we all are specialists in giving two types of the certificates. One is birth certificate and one is death certificate. But no doctor of any specialty in the world has been able to demonstrate what comes because of birth happens and what goes back because of the death happens. And therefore, spirit is a component which is necessary for the sustenance of the life, continuation of the life. And of course, since spirit is beyond matter, and when anything is beyond matter, it is very difficult to define it, because the things which are matter, those things you can define. There is a color, there is something, tangible things, you can do experiments with the things. But the thing is this, that when things are intangible, it is a real challenge. But one thing is this, that I must tell you that we are very fortunate that Patanjali, in Patanjali Yoga Shastra, has very scientifically revealed what spirit is, and how to approach spirit, how to approach yourself. What most of the books and most of the Shastras says, rediscover yourself. This rediscovering process has been very scientifically analyzed in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And what Dr. Dhariwal was trying to say, because of the blessings of my Guru, who is no more in this physical world, I was able to make PowerPoint presentations of the anatomical and physiological correlates of the spirituality based on the Patanjali Yoga Shastra. There is nothing of me. I took out everything from the Patanjali Yoga Shastra, and I thought, since it is in Sanskrit, It is an ancient scripture, and the thing is, there is a treasure in it. But the thing is, this we do not know it, and it has a relevance. Medically, it can be defined, it can be elaborated, and that work at some other time I will try to share with this thing. Coming back to the spiritual health curriculum, one thing is this, that again, if you search the net, you will find there is a medical students curriculum on the spirituality in Iran. There is a spiritual health curriculum in Brazil, and there is a spiritual health curriculum in the name of mind-body medicine with the Mayo Clinic and with the Cleveland Clinic. Now the challenge is this: we are discussing this topic in the All India Institute, Delhi, which is the Makkah of the medical world for India. And therefore, when we work on the spirituality, we should not forget that we will have to bring original Indian principles while defining the spirituality. The curriculum which is of the mind-body medicine with the Mayo Clinic and mind-body medicine with the Cleveland Clinic, it's a wonderful thing. I must say that we have to learn a lot from the Western people, and here also they even bothered and they tried to teach their medical students. And in more than 90 medical schools of the US, mind-body medicine is an integral part. It comes under the broad discipline of internal medicine. Somewhere it is a part of the community medicine. So the thing is this, when we approach for developing a concrete program, a concrete curriculum, where to put this thing will definitely be evolved by all the experts. Only thing is this: we have enough treasure, and how to define the spirituality and how to correlate with the health. I am fortunate to tour around the world, around the many institutions. If you happen to have visited Whitefield and Puttaparthi, which are the institutions by the Satya Sai Baba, who is no more physically, but institutions are there. So they have a spiritual health history curriculum. Just like we clinically, we have a family history, we have a past history, we have a professional history, there is a spiritual history. And they have created a module that how to take that spiritual history, what could be the components of the spiritual history, and how to evolve counseling based on the spiritual principles. So in those medical institutions, they are practicing. I have seen with my own eyes, I have experience, and many good brains, they have worked for that. This is one thing. Within India, we can check those things. Dr. Niradhar is here. She is from NIHFW. I am fortunate that she gave me an opportunity to develop a spiritual health scale in 2011. Am I right, madam? 2011. So when Dr. Devginandan was the director of that institute, actually he was the inspiring person behind this thing. And I do not know from where Niradhar got my name, so I was associated as one of the experts to develop the spiritual health scale. So if you check the net, we all should feel proud of the National Institute of Health and Family Welfare and Dr. Niradhar, that we have the credit of developing first religion without non-religion based spiritual health scale. It is a very well scientifically developed, defined, and very vast and elaborate work was done on it. It is available on the net, anyone can check it. This could be also one of the sources that how the things were done. Now, lastly, I like to wholeheartedly thank Dr. D.C. Jain. Again, I do not know from where he got my name, and he humbly invited me in that World Conference of Spirituality, which was referring in the December 2022. And after that, again for this meeting, he was the person who gave. I must salute the sincerity he has got, the concern he has got, the dedication he has got to develop this thing in the medical world, and especially since I came early for this meeting, so I was discussing this with Dr. M. Srinivas, the director, and he told that we are very keen to develop a spiritual health curriculum for the medical professionals. और ऑल इंडिया इंस्टीट्यूट में नहीं होगा तो कहाँ होगा? So what I mean to say is this: I can only say probably the wisdom is pouring on all of us. Good times are probably coming. That there is a thought to develop this thing, and I can tell you that we can develop this curriculum as scientifically as any other specialty of the medical science. And therefore, I thank Dr. D.C. Jain for one reason, that he was so kind that to involve me in this type of the thing, and I can assure all of you to give my inputs, whatever contribution I can give in developing this curriculum over a period of time. And thank you so much for all of you for very patient listening. Thank you.
Dr. Jain, can I just see if I'm not too...
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Deepak ji. And I just wanted to share with all of you that we in the Department of Physiology have had a very rich history of studying the brain and the mind. The first EEG of a yogi in Samadhi was taken in our department, and some of the stalwarts, I think Dr. Amitabh and Dr. Jain would be knowing.
Professor Baldev Singh.
Professor Baldev Singh and Professor B.K. Anand. And now we have a very rich department with about 20 specialty labs, including 3 or 4 which are under us. One is Cognitive Neurophysiology Laboratory, where we are doing non-invasive brain mapping functionally by NIRS, which is very office friendly. We are doing visual tracking by showing images of any kind of valence and violence and so many other things, even food. Second is our nutrition laboratory under the guidance of Professor Bijlani, when after my MD I did a PhD on Indian dietary spices. So the spiritual behavior associated with daily life, and as was rightly said, that religion is not spirituality, because a surgeon who is working for 12 hours in the operation, what he is working has a spirituality of its own. And the other laboratories we are doing is neuromodulation by diet-based, by probiotics-based, by giving magnetotherapy in a very scientific manner like theta burst stimulation, and we are having very good results. Some of our postgraduates are sitting there. Also yoga-based, meditation-based. So we can show that evidence by showing the, as sir very rightly said, the neurobiological correlates, what is popping up, then doing a mixed method studies by these quantitative metrics, as well as using, madam, the questionnaires and the scales. And we have a very rich group with us, about 40 faculty members. We started as AIIMS Medical Humanities Initiative, and then Dr. Meenakshi Lekhi, she visited us when we had a big conference in August, and she said that have something which is very India specific. So we wanted to have a national initiative for maybe value-based education, as well as, we don't want to use the word spiritual medicine. We want to use a word something like spiritual well-being or spiritual health, because in physiology, sir, we are doing what we call promotive health. We want that each person should be able to achieve, and that is also हमारे honorable प्रधानमंत्री जी भी यही कहते हैं कि हर व्यक्ति अपना पूरा potential achieve करे. So with director sir, we had a discussion that as I was telling you in the first part of my talk, stress बहुत है. So modern medicine as it could be, should be and would be. Here Dr. Bijlani, every first Wednesday of the month in the auditorium we have been allotted space during lunch hour and time, and then Professor Chandrakant Panda, who is the ideal man of India, he is also very rich. So sir, science and spirituality are actually two sides of the same coin. So we had done that, and I had also said that what is the link with spirituality and medicine, what are the roots of that. We have had about 13 talks so far by luminaries in this field, and it will be my proud privilege that if some of you sir, with Dr. Jain, you, Dr. Shukla, आप लोग सागर सर जी आप आए और हमारे पास यहाँ आए. Till March we'll be having this, and so the spirituality of a kisan, as was mentioned, is almost equivalent to the spirituality of a teacher who is doing his or her job with that kind of dedication. और आत्मीयता और आध्यात्मिक भाव से जो भी अपनी ड्यूटी कर रहा है, कर्तव्य का निर्वहन कर रहा है सत्यनिष्ठा से, वो स्पिरिचुअल है. थैंक यू.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kocha, for briefing about how the physiology department has developed. Dr. Srivastava has some appointment, he has to leave. But before that, I would like that a brief presentation should be made by Dr. Verma. Dr. Amitabh. Time is